Hey guys, today I want to talk to you about my 2 years here in the Philippines. What has changed? What has changed in me? What has changed in my outlook into the future? And I'll talk about my health, my wealth. I'll also talk about my mental state and also my emotional state here in the Philippines. So first, my physical health since I've been here. I've been here 2 years. Came here, I had hypertension. I had high cholesterol, all these bad things that an old guy has back in the States. My high blood pressure has gone down. It's not dramatically down where I don't have to worry about it, but it's below the point where I don't need medication anymore. I'm right on that low-high area of my blood pressure. And I have the cuff that we put on, and we can check my blood pressure from time to time to make sure I stay in a good spot. Being that I'm 69 years old, going to be 70 in a few months, my health is pretty good for being here. A little bit overweight, but everything else is fine. I feel much better now that I'm here in the Philippines. Back home, it was hard for me to wake up. I'd want to sleep all day. I was bored and because of the COVID situation. And when I came to the Philippines, I started to wake up earlier. Janet and I'm up at 5 a.m., if not earlier, most days. Very seldom do I ever sleep in, and a sleep-in day is considered 6. So I'm getting better sleep here, I'm more relaxed, and I'm enjoying my life much, much better now that I'm here in the Philippines. Let me talk to you about my emotional state. Back home, you would be alone. For us guys who were single and we lived in an apartment or we shared a residence with somebody, you went to bed alone every night. When the evening was done, you'd turn off your TV and you'd go sleep by yourself. And even before you'd go to bed, you'd be sitting on the couch or your favorite chair, watching TV or YouTube, and just by yourself. And companionship was a big issue. As you get older, it's harder to find a good companion, especially back in the States. There was nobody I met that I wanted to be in a personal relationship as a companion, as a partner. Where here in the Philippines, I see so many guys, including myself, who have found great partners. They've turned into wives, they've turned into long-term girlfriends. But the partnership that you develop over this 2-year period that I have developed makes me so happy. It gives me a reason to live. It gives me a reason to get up every day knowing I'm going to share everything, with Janet. You've all know Janet. And she has become a great partner for me, and not just me. I talk to other expats who've been here a while. It looks like the secret to great success, and not everybody's different. I'm not going to paint it with a broad brush, but those guys who have a wife or a long-term partner that they're happy with and is a good partner, a good companion, a good fit for them, have found happiness here in the Philippines. And 2 years in the Philippines, I have found my happiness. I was never this happy in the last 30 years in the States. Never. And definitely not the last 10 years. I am so much more happy now than anywhere in the last 10, 30 years in the U.S. A lot of you guys want to know the story of how I met Janet during this 2-year period. Well, when I came to Dumaguete, I stayed in an Airbnb. And while I was staying there, I had a couple different girlfriends that I was hanging out with and checking out the city. One of them helped me find an apartment, and the apartment was up in Talay, which is right across the street from Genoa High School. And I got into this apartment, and it was about 18,000 pesos a month, I believe, maybe 16,000. It was furnished, it was 1 bedroom, it had a pool. I was on the 2nd floor, it had a balcony. It was a little noisy, chickens, construction work, traffic, but it was good for me. It was a perfect place for me. And one night I was sitting there, and I said, I got everything. I just bought a motorbike that I don't know how to ride. And the foreigner that I bought it from Belgium, very nice guy. He showed me a little bit on how to ride it, but then he delivered it for me. He brought it to the house and I paid for it. And so I have a motorbike and I have an apartment. What don't I have? I don't have a companion yet. I don't have a girlfriend yet. So I went on Facebook, and you know, on Facebook it says places, if you have, you may know this person, and it says, you know, send friends request or cancel. I was starting to look for girls in the Dumaguete area, and then all of a sudden this one girl popped up, and she went to Genoa High School, and I knew that was right across the street, so I clicked on that one and I sent her a message. So I started looking some more, and then Janet's picture popped up, and it said she went to Genoa High School. So I did the friends request and I sent her a message. Both girls replied. Both girls I started talking to, but Janet did something that is really positive. She wanted a video chat. She wanted to make sure I was real, and we started video chatting. And I found out she was working right around the corner from where I was staying, and that she lived about 2 kilometers away from where I was staying. And she told me her story, how she had a son, she lived with her parents. And I finally convinced her to come and visit me at the apartment after work one day. Well, she didn't. You know, she got off of work, 2 hours went by, I asked her, where are you at? And she goes, oh, I'm at home now. I think she was too scared to come and see me. So the next day, I told her, you're gonna come visit me this time? She says, sure, I'll be there. Well, she came, but she stayed out on the street on her motorbike. She had her helmet on. So I walked out there. I walked out to the main highway, and I had my phone in my hand, and I text her, is that you in the motorbike across the street? And she goes, is that you walking with the cell phone? And I go, yeah. So we finally met in person. She came inside and visited with me. She came up to the apartment. We sat on the balcony. We had a couple of drinks, soft drinks, of course, and we've been together almost every day since. And when did I decide that she was the one for me? Well, I'm going to tell you guys, they do little things. They, meaning the Filipinas, do little things to show you that they're the perfect girl for you. And one day, and this is after many days, Janet messaging me, I'm going to work now, and did you eat your breakfast? And you know, I would reply yes, and she would go about her day. And she would always ask me where I was going to go, and I would say, I'm going into Dumaguete. I'm going to go down to the coffee shop. I'm going to go shopping at a hypermart. And she'd just say, be safe, and she went about her business. One day I replied, I'm not feeling good. I'm just going to stay home today. Well, 20 minutes later, there's a knock on the door. It's Janet. She's there to take care of me. She says, I'm here to take care of you. I take absent day from work. And she spent the day, she cleaned the apartment, she made sure I was all right. I just had a little headache, guys. But she took enough care to miss a day's work to make sure I was okay. And I wouldn't have dreamed of any girl I was dating in the US if I told them I didn't feel good that day. You know, they would normally tell you, call me when you feel better. You know, let me know when you can come out again. Not this girl. She came over to make sure I was all right. She came over to make sure everything was good in my life. And that was the start of our relationship. And then she saw I had this motorbike down there. And she goes, you know, do you ride? I said, no, I don't ride the motorbike. I have to learn. So she took it for a ride herself. She said it was a good bike. On Saturday, she said she would come and we'd go for a ride. Well, she came with her son, PJ. They were on one motorbike, and I got on this one. And they followed me down the side roads up to Valencia. And I'm riding, I'm shaking, I'm going to fall off. I never fell, but I was very wobbly. And, you know, Janet was right behind me yelling, slow down, go slow. And it was really nice of her to take the time to make sure I was safe in learning how to ride the bike. She took the time to make sure I was healthy and feeling good every day. And that's why I chose Janet. You know, there's other reasons, but those are two big reasons, is that she cared about me. And I'm so happy that I met her. Why did I choose Dumaguete as a landing spot after Behold? Well, Behold got sort of boring with this walk up and down the beach, up and down the beach. And after, you know, about 4 weeks or 6 weeks of walking twice a day, the same beach, high tide or low tide, passing the same people, passing the same fishing boats, it just got old for me. And remember, I didn't have a bike back then. I would have to take a jeepney into Tabalaran to go shopping. And that was the highlight of my week. You know, I'd go in there, I'd go into the mall, Island City Mall, and I'd have a cup of coffee, I'd sit down and blah, blah, blah with some people as I met them, do my grocery shopping, get back in that jeepney and go back home to Bohol in the Panglao area. And that sort of got old. I wanted to have my own transportation. And when I went to buy a motorbike, they said it would be about 6 weeks to 2 months before I got to registration. So I'm thinking, no, I don't want to buy it and not be able to ride it. So I thought about it and I said, you know, Dumaguete's close. And I remember watching all these bloggers, you know, Ned, Rique, just different bloggers at the time. Geo, I think I was watching Geo too. And I decided I'm going to go check out Dumaguete. And I came over here and got an Airbnb, met a girl, enjoyed the city. I went back to Bohol, you know, told them my lease was up. I was on a month-to-month, that I was going to move out. Packed all my stuff and moved to Dumaguete and stayed in the Airbnb and found the apartment. My emotional state, I'm much better now. You know, when I was back home, when I was in my 30s, early 40s, I had a bit of a temper. And, you know, I like to argue with people. I would drive down the road, you know, road rage. It was something that could happen at any time. You know, I was like a ticking time bomb in my 30s and early 40s. Coming to the Philippines, I made an honest decision that when I got off the plane, I was going to be a better person. I made this decision many years before I came to the Philippines, but I really took it to heart here where when I got off the plane, I was going to be the best person I could be. I was going to be a good guy. I was going to be somebody who would help people and somebody who was responsible for their actions. And I think I achieved that. Once in a while, you know, I backslide a little bit, but all in all, my mental health here is so much better because I'm a happier person. You know, I go to the coffee shops and that's not what's going to make you happy, but it's a happy thing for me to go and meet people that I know and are friends with, and even strangers who I've met on YouTube and Facebook, and meet with them. And my emotional state is so much better. I don't wait for a bill to come in the mail. You know, I don't worry about how much, you know, an electric bill is going to be, or how much the water bill is, or the property tax, or you know, your car insurance. You don't get that onslaught of bills here that you get back home, which makes life tough. You know, you're always looking at your finances back home, and your finances here, and let's step into that, your wealth, your money. Here in the Philippines for 2 years, I've been able to save more money than I would ever have thought imaginable. And I'm way under my Social Security in monthly spending. You know, my Social Security, I don't know what the low is or what the high is. I got numbers people tell me, but you know, I'm in the you know, the mid 2000s, and I don't spend anywhere near $2,000 US a month here. No way. So wealth-wise, finance-wise, it's much better here. You buy things, you just pay cash. Buy yourself a new motorcycle, you know, $2,000 US or $3,000. If you want to buy a car, you know, you can buy them as cheap as what, $10,000 for a new one, and you know, you can buy used ones for whatever you can find a deal for. But they're not expensive. And the monthly car insurance, I don't get monthly insurance. I buy insurance once a year. And it was about, I'm going to say, under 1,400 pesos for the year for me and Janet on our motorbikes. And that's less than, you know, $25 a year for insurance. And registration is nothing. It's time consuming to get it registered, cost-wise, under 20 bucks. So your finances here, you should be able to save money and live more comfortably here than you do back home. And I've found that to be very true. And the things that have helped me since I've been here, I landed in Bohol. I landed in Manila, and I took a direct flight from Manila. I didn't even leave the airport, and I went to Bohol. And I lived there for 2 months. And I'm going to suggest this to everybody when you first come to the Philippines. Pick a spot where you can unwind, decompress, somewhere where you can be relaxed. Now that might be the big city of Cebu, hanging out at Ayala Mall or IT Park, or Macon, Newtown, or up in Manila, BGC. Wherever you're going to be comfortable, where you can let the stress of your daily life back in the States disappear. And I spent, that 2-month period walking the beach. I got an apartment right on the beach. I was 50 yards from the water line, and I would walk every day that 2.5 miles one direction up to the resort, and I'd have coffee or lunch or dinner, depending time of day. And that long walk each day, I was able to decompress and forget all about my problems back home. And that's what you need to do when you come here. You need to decompress and get the pressure of back home over with. Get it where you're relaxed, where you're sleeping the night. And then after that 2 months, I came to Dumaguete. And once I came to Dumaguete, it was like a breath of fresh air. It was a little bit more of a city life than where I was in Bohol. But then again, it's a provincial life here, and it's a lot more provincial than the big city of Cebu. So I found a nice home here in Dumaguete. I was able to meet Janet and have a great partnership with Janet, and she became my wife. And this is a lot of the things that have changed in my life. Is I came here thinking I would never get married. And I did not think I would ever get married again. And you just never know what happens in life, who you meet, and what goes on inside your head, how much you want fulfillment in your life, you want companionship in your life. And it's easy to find here. It's so much easier here. And for my 2 years here, I'm going to call it a blessing. I'm so happy I made that right decision. I wish I could have gone back and done it sooner, but would I have met the same people? Would I be living in the same place? Would I be feeling the same way? Only God knows that. But coming to the Philippines has been a great experience for me, and I have no desire to go back to the States anymore. So after 2 years, how will I describe my life in the Philippines? Fulfilling. I've been fulfilled in all my needs here. I've been fulfilled in my health, my mental state, my happiness is off the charts, and wealth-wise, because it's so much inexpensive to live here compared to living back home. If you have $1,500 a month back home, you're going to live here a much better life than $1,500 will get you back home. You'll be able to save money here. You'll be able to go out. You'll be able to do things. And there's so many things you can do here that are free. Go up to the mountains, go to the beach, go for a walk on the boulevard like where we're at now. All these things are calming influences on my life, and I think you'll find them to be calming on your life. So, been here 2 years. I got here February 21st, 2022. Now it's February 21st, 2024. I'm hoping I have 2 more good years like this, and we'll just take this 1 year at a time, 1 year at a time, 1 day at a time. And that's the way you should look at it when you come here to the Philippines, or whatever country you choose in your retirement. 1 day at a time. Hopefully tomorrow is a better day than today, and the day after that's an even better day. So everybody, leave me a comment below. What do you think about 2 years in the Philippines? You've been following me on YouTube for 1.5 years. Have I changed? Do I look better? Janet says I'm very guapo, but has my outlook on life changed? For those of you who have been following me, I know my habits on YouTube. I'm a much better blogger now than I used to be. But the good thing about finding YouTube is I made so many good friends off of the YouTube. We meet people almost every day who have watched us on YouTube, who want to meet us, have a cup of coffee with us, pick my brain. And I get messages on Facebook, and it's been a great asset to our life. It's been a great positive influence in our life over these 2 years or this 1.5 years on YouTube. So guys, come over here for a vacation, check it out, get your boots on the ground. If you have any questions, leave them down below in the comment section, and until next time.